Welcome to Top 8, and today, we're counting down the 8 scariest horror movies of all time. On our list today, we'll be taking a dive into the horror genre of cinema and ranking some of best horror movies ever released. Full of heart-racing suspense and moments so scary, you might need to watch this with that hallway light on. So sit back and enjoy as we take you inside the world of horror, thrilling moviegoer audiences around the world. And if you enjoy these videos and want to watch more of Top 8, please let us know what other videos you would like to see in the comments below. Let's begin. Number 8. Sinister. Kicking off our list of the scariest horror movies of all time at number 8 is the spine-chilling Sinister. First up, did you know that Sinister was scientifically proven to be the scariest movie ever made? A study found that viewers' heart rates averaged 86 BPM while watching, peaking at 131 BPM during the film's most intense moments. Secondly, the disturbing home movies in the film were actually shot on Super 8 film to give them that eerily authentic feel. And let's not forget the unforgettable Bughul. This terrifying entity was inspired by ancient pagan deities. But here's something you might not know. The film's original script was titled Sunshine Slayings, a name far less sinister than what we ended up with. As you dive into this nightmare-inducing flick, just remember, sleep is overrated anyway. Number 7. Halloween. Coming in at number 7 on our scariest horror movies of all time list is the film that made babysitting a whole lot scarier, Halloween. This 1978 classic introduced the world to Michael Myers, the masked menace with a fondness for silent stalking. Did you know that the mask Myers wears is actually a repurposed Captain Kirk mask from Star Trek? Talk about a sci-fi horror crossover. The movie's suspenseful score, composed by John Carpenter himself, is as iconic as the film. Here's a chilling fact. Halloween was shot in just 20 days on a budget that wouldn't even cover a modern blockbuster's catering bill. And if that doesn't keep you up at night, the fact that Michael Myers never runs might. He just walks. And yet he always catches up. Number 6. The Ring. Let's dive into the terrifying world of The Ring, taking the 6th spot on our list of the scariest horror movies of all time. This spine-chilling masterpiece is known for its cursed videotape that dooms viewers to a gruesome fate in 7 days. Directed by Gore Verbinski, the 2002 film is actually a remake of the Japanese horror movie Ringu, bringing the eerie legend of Sadako, or Samara, as she's known in the American version, into global nightmares. Naomi Watts shines as the determined journalist Rachel, racing against time to unravel the curse. One unknown fact, the iconic well scene where Samara emerges was so intense that it was reportedly shot in just one take, as the crew was too creeped out to go through it again. So, if you ever get a strange videotape, maybe it's best to let it collect dust. After all, not every tape deserves a rewatch. Number 5. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Coming in at number 5 on our list of the scariest horror movies of all time is The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, a film that redefined terror and left audiences with nightmares for days. First, this 1974 classic was inspired by real-life serial killer Ed Gein, adding a chilling layer of reality to the horror. Also, despite its reputation for gore, the film actually features very little on-screen blood. It's the power of suggestion that makes it so terrifying. But did you know, the movie's gritty, documentary-style cinematography gives it an unsettling sense of realism, making viewers feel like they're trapped in the nightmare themselves. And for the unknown fact, the film was banned in several countries upon release, not just for its graphic content, but for its ability to deeply disturb viewers. As they say, the Saw is family. Just make sure yours is ready for the fright of their lives. Number 4. The Shining. When it comes to psychological horror, few films carve into your mind like The Shining. Directed by Stanley Kubrick, This 1980 classic isn't just famous for its eerie atmosphere and Jack Nicholson's chilling performance. It's also a masterclass in visual storytelling, with every frame dripping in unsettling detail. The Overlook Hotel, where the story unfolds, is a character in its own right, with its impossible architecture and ghostly residents. And who could forget the iconic "Here's Johnny" scene, a moment so intense it became a cultural touchstone. But here's a lesser-known fact. Kubrick was so obsessed with getting the perfect take that he had Shelley Duvall, who played Wendy, perform the baseball bat scene 127 times, pushing her to the brink of exhaustion. If you ever find yourself checking into the Overlook, just make sure you don't lose yourself in the maze of its mysteries, or the hedge maze outside. Number 3. The Conjuring. The Conjuring cast a spell on horror fans worldwide, bringing the real-life terror of the Warrens' paranormal investigations to the big screen. First, it was so terrifying that during its premiere, audience members needed a priest to bless the theater. Also, the creepy Annabelle doll? She's a real, and even creepier, Raggedy Ann in real life. But did you know the film's success sparked a whole universe of spin-offs and sequels, making it a cornerstone of modern horror? And here's a fun, unknown fact. Director James Wan included subtle nods to The Exorcist throughout the film, blending classic horror DNA into his own creation. If this one doesn't have you sleeping with the lights on, you might just be a ghost yourself. Number 2. Hereditary. Hereditary is the kind of horror movie that lingers in your mind long after the credits roll, redefining what it means to be truly unsettling. First, Toni Collette's performance was so haunting that it earned her widespread acclaim, even though horror films rarely get their due at awards shows. Also, the chilling miniature houses you see throughout the movie. They were all meticulously handcrafted, mirroring the twisted, claustrophobic world of the characters. But did you know the film's final act is an intense roller coaster of terror, cementing it as a modern horror classic? And here's a little-known fact. The unsettling clicking sound made by the character Charlie was improvised by the young actress Millie Shapiro, adding an extra layer of creepiness that stuck with audiences. Watching Hereditary is like staring into a nightmare you can't wake up from. Who knew family drama could be this terrifying? Before we continue and get to number 1, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell to be notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into settings and switch on your notifications. Number 1. The Exorcist. The Exorcist, often hailed as the scariest horror film of all time, has a legacy that still chills audiences to the bone. Released in 1973, this film is based on a true story, which only adds to its terror. The intense special effects, including the famous 360-degree headspin, were groundbreaking for its time. Did you know that the film's director, William Friedkin, used real-life exorcisms as inspiration? Here's a lesser-known fact. The set was reportedly cursed, with multiple cast members suffering injuries or experiencing strange events during filming. When it comes to spine-tingling horror, The Exorcist is the gold standard, and it's not just pea soup that's hard to swallow. Did any of these horror films make it on your next watch list? Let us know in the comments below, and thanks for watching.